Well, Julie, welcome back to Dunker's house. And the name of the playlist will be mentioned somewhere down below. We're not going to bring it up. We're moving past it. We're moving past it. We went and saw Evil Dead Burn today at the movie theater. Well, once again, we decided to go back out to the movie theater. It was not a bad experience the second time around either. There was other people in the theater, a raucous other two guys sitting over to our left.
Yeah, without the annoyance of other moviegoers, the other problems with being in the movie theater arise.
Like what?
Such as, I need a blankie now.
Yeah, the problem is I'm not as brave as Tracy. I can't take a blanket into the theater. What if someone tries to fight me?
This sound mix is terrible.
Yeah, the sound mix is bad. The projection's always muted there too. Like I don't want to shit on our theater. I actually like the theater a good bit, but the lighting is always bad in the projection too. So it's but every time we've seen a movie there, it's been really dark. All two times, it's been pretty dark. Yeah, we braved the theater one more time, and we saw Evil Dead Burn. I don't know. I wish I could say I was excited to see this one because I love, I'm actually not the biggest fan of the first Evil Dead movie. I love it for the fact that it's like a filmmaker making a film, a bunch of his friends doing stuff, and they have cool tricks, but it's not really that good of a movie. Evil Dead 2, huge fan. It's a lot of fun. I've loved it. I think Jason introduced me to it probably when I was way younger. I've always loved it. And then Army of Darkness, incredible movie, but like completely different, right? It's like Evil Dead is one thing. Evil Dead 2 is kind of a remake of Evil Dead. And then Army of Darkness is just like a straight up comedy featuring like monsters.
Yeah, I watched Army of Darkness first.
Did I call it Army of Dead? Okay.
I watched Army of Darkness first with my brother and one of his friends.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was great as a youngster.
Yeah.
Much later in adulthood is when I finally watched Evil Dead, and I was like,
yeah.
What's going on?
What do the two have to do with each other at related, all? So I love those movies. And then the Fede Alvarez 2013 Evil Dead movie, which I think it might have either been called The Evil Dead or just Evil Dead, but that 2013 one, man, I love that movie.
That was a good movie.
It's a really good movie. Like, it's really brutal. Like, it hits real hard the whole way through. You kind of care about some of the characters. Yeah. It's well shot. It's well written. It's got a good script. That's almost a yearly watch for me, legitimately. It's probably tied with, like, Trick or Treat for we watch this movie almost every year. Then Evil Dead Rise came out. I don't remember, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I can't remember the year on that one. I think it might have been 2023 or 2024, but I don't know. I didn't really care for it.
Did not like it.
I didn't really care for it. It had a couple of cool kind of things going on for it here and there, but overall, and I tried to watch it now, I think 3 times, because sometimes it takes me a couple of attempts with a movie before like I kind of settle into it and I get it and I like it. So I've tried to watch it probably 2 or 3 times, and every time I watch it, I'm like, no, it's just nothing. There's just nothing going on. It just feels like nothing. I don't really like it. So I don't know if I was excited for this one going in or not. But we went and saw it because it's Evil Dead. We love horror. We love the Evil Dead. Let's go see this thing. And not great. Wasn't super great.
Take it back.
Take it back.
Cheers.
The Sebastian Vanacek, I think, is the I think writer and director in this one. He co-wrote it. I think he said in an interview that like he didn't want it to be bloody. He wasn't competing for like bloodiest Evil Dead, but he wanted it to be really brutal, and it's the most brutal Evil Dead movie. And I know that all of the comments I've seen about it so far are just how brutal it is. And it wasn't even as much so as the 2013 one. It hit a lot harder.
Yeah, I feel like this one had a lot more supernaturalness to the monsters, the deadites.
The deadites, yeah.
And all of their injuries after it happened, it wasn't like really gross anymore. It was just like,
Oh yeah.
oh, there's an injury there. Whereas in the other one, I mean, that girl sawed her arm off. It was disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of really hard hits in that other one. This one, like, it had a lot of, like, gross out kind of stuff. I guess maybe we should start with a little bit of kind of what the story is. If you've never watched an Evil Dead movie before, you probably don't like our channel. If you've never watched an Evil Dead movie before, basically it boils down to there's a book, the Necronomicon, and there's some words in there, and if you say those words, you can unleash this kind of curse into the world. Over time, it evolved into, like, I think they're called the Kandarians now, and the Deadites. There's like a whole universe that was kind of expanded on by Ash versus Evil Dead, which I watched in entirety and can't remember a single thing about it. I don't know. Anyway, I think there's a whole, like, world for them now, but originally it was just sort of like a curse that came out. Then at Army of Darkness, Ash went in there and fought the Deadites in the past.
See this? This is my boomstick!
So the plot of this movie is a little bit hard to discern. As usual, someone says the words and the evil is unleashed upon the world. And the film follows the people who it is unleashed upon, and we watch them try to deal with the consequences of their actions, I guess. This one opens up with a guy writing in a journal or something while listening to a recording that we later find out is one of the character's grandfathers. But he's listening to this recording of this guy talking, and then I think on the recording he says the words. Is that right?
I actually don't know.
Somehow the words get said in the beginning, and evil is unleashed onto the world. Just like in Evil Dead Rise, it opens with two completely unrelated characters at the beach. Remember?
Well, that's not. It opens with the. This is why I knew the movie wasn't going to be good.
Okay, lay it on me.
It opened with that researching writer guy.
Yeah.
That should have been your, like, simple short open. No, then it jumped to another cold open of two guys getting killed.
I see what you're saying.
And you're like, okay, so that wasn't our characters. This is another jump in. But then it didn't even keep it short. It extended it out for too long.
The guys fishing.
The two fishing guys. Like, they had the
Yeah.
whole scene of them fishing.
Yeah.
They had a scene of them having an argument. The one guy ends up getting attacked.
Called off with his girlfriend.
Well,
yeah.
the one guy walks away. One guy gets attacked.
Yeah.
This whole scene happens with them, and you're like, oh, okay, that guy's dead. Then the other guy has to get killed.
Yeah, that's
and it's
right.
not just, you're like, oh, okay, he's killed. No, we see him dragging himself onto the beach. He's not dead yet. I'm like, this is too much for the opening.
Yeah, that's how Evil Dead Rise kind of opened a bit the same, but it did it better what you want. It was a lot more brief with the kind of cold open. Evil Dead Rise has that cool drone shot, like down through the river, and it kind of harkens back to like the Sam Raimi ones a little bit. And before you know it's a drone, it kind of looks cool, like it's the evil coming through the woods as it always did. Then it busts out, and it turns out the guy's wearing the FPV camera flying the drone. And then the evil is unleashed, and those two die at the lake. And I don't think they're related in any way, shape, or form to the rest of the movie.
Does evil always come from the lake?
No, and that's the thing. It's very famously takes place in a cabin in the woods. You know what I mean?
It could be a lake in the woods.
It could be a lake in the woods, I suppose, like at Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
It's weird that the last two have opened up with people at the lake. Both of them don't take place in a cabin in the woods, which I'm actually fine with that. It doesn't always have to be the exact same movie every time, so I don't really care about that. The last one, Evil Dead Rise, took place in a high tower. I think that's why it's called Rise. It takes place in like a tall apartment complex. This one, it's called Evil Dead Burn, I think because the lead character burned in the opening. Not the lead character. The first death of the movie occurs by burning.
First death of the main characters.
Whatever, dude. I'm not counting the cold open with the fishing people. The one character dies off the rip, and they go to his funeral at his like family's house, and the whole rest of the movie takes place at this family house.
And so much of the plot made no sense.
Yeah, yeah. That's the problem with it, is the script is bad.
And you hate every single character.
Yeah, yeah. You know
everyone is selfish or abusive or mean or
and
narcissistic or something. There's just nobody where you're like, oh yeah, this is the person I want to win.
Yeah, and not like in the manner of, like it's subjective. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, according to you, this guy's a jerk, dude. The first death, the guy that dies first, is like you want to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
You're like, I hate this guy.
He's a dick in the beginning.
Yeah.
You find out later in flashbacks he was abusive.
Yeah.
He was driving drunk. He was.
Yeah.
He was the best guy around.
They go to the funeral, and his wife comes to the funeral dressed like a bum. She got her sneakers on.
Yeah.
The funeral is taking place under, like, the place is next to construction.
Yeah.
So through the whole service there was construction noises.
That's played weird. Like a comedy too. It
was so weird.
Yeah, they had a couple of comedy bits in there. Like the guy that like carts off the coffin to the crematorium part was like dancing and vibing.
Well,
and stuff.
You remember when he was first wheeling it away, and he's like,
I can't keep. Yeah, that was weird.
But anyway, she shows up, and like his parents are nasty to her.
Yeah.
So you're like, why are they being such jerks? So you don't like them.
It's never even explained why they're being jerks to her either. They're being jerks to her because everybody in this movie sucks. That's it. That's all it is. Like the parents of the one character, two of the characters, I guess, the parental units of the entire movie, just hate their son. They hate his girlfriend.
They hate the son that's still alive.
They hate his girlfriend. They hate
the wife,
their
the widow daughter-in-law. They hate her.
They hate everybody, and they have that. I've heard people mention it, and I've seen it talked about. They have that like the family dinner scene in the beginning, and I when we were reading, we went and got coffee after we saw the movie, and we were reading reviews of the movie, and I saw 2 or 3 of them, just like user reviews on IMDb, that were like, the family dinner scene was completely insane. It was so tense and tough, and like, it's the worst because they sit down and the dad's just being an absolute jerk to everybody, and nobody says anything. Everybody's just like, oh, that's just dad being dad again. Nobody cares that their dad's being like huge a-hole, like really a huge a-hole. Starts shoving mashed potatoes in his mouth.
His face, like, is all dirty and gross looking.
Yeah, it was crazy. Everybody's, and I don't think the mom ever gets possessed in the movie. She's just a bitch to everybody. She does, yeah.
She does, but she's just a bitch.
Yeah, she's just a bitch.
It's hard to tell she was possessed because it was like, oh, you're acting like the same bitch.
Yeah, she's always deadited.
Yeah.
She's always in full deadite mode. Everybody's a jerk. The only one who's really not, I guess, is the final girl, the widow, and she's not great. You know what I mean? She's not pleasant. You're not rooting for her. She's just sort of there. Yeah, she's just in the movie. And I'll tell you, like we mentioned, Evil Dead 2013, the Fede Alvarez one. It's not incredible. Like, I don't want anybody to be like, oh, maybe should have gotten the Academy Award for Best Horror Movie in 2013. It's not great, but it's a cool, fun movie. And you kind of care about all of the characters. That one, their friend is like dealing with drug issues, and she's overdosed a bunch of times, and they take her to this cabin in the woods to be secluded so that she can kick the habit, and they're all going to take care of her. Somebody finds the book, somebody says the words, the evil comes out, and it's contained in this cabin where they deal with it. But you care about them, like they're doing this for their friend. They have backstories. They each have their own characterizations. So
they all love each other, and they don't treat each other like shit.
Yeah, there's that. And so the whole way through, like, every time one of them gets bashed in the face, you're like, oh man, that sucks. That was her friend that was like taking care of her. That, like, this one, you're just like, yeah, just bash that woman's head in. I don't care. Just get her out of here.
Yeah.
She might be better as a deadite.
Why are you hesitating?
Yeah, the lead character is his irredeemable quality is that he sees his fiance getting murdered and he's like, well, better run away.
He had a gun to the head of the person murdering his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And then is like, see ya, and dips out and lets her get killed.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny. I don't know what counts as a spoiler for this movie. I didn't watch any trailers. We forgot to watch trailers for this.
Yeah, we did.
We never really watch trailers for movies anymore, except now when we see them in the theater. But I know that the one thing I've definitely seen as I'm flicking along on whatever app I'm on and it advertises this movie is that girl pulling that thing out of her face.
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen that close up like on every single advertisement. And that's all I had seen. So when she first appeared on the movie as just a regular person, I was like, hey, oh, that's the girl that gets the thing in her face. That kind of sucks. Guess you see that coming. It's literally the only marketing I've seen for the movie is that girl pulling that thing out of her face. And I saw it immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's an Evil Dead movie. Everybody's going to die except one person for the most part.
Yeah.
So, you know, spoiler alert, it's an Evil Dead movie. Yeah, you hate the characters. You don't care when they die.
You wish they would have died sooner.
And it's not even like it's an original concept. I'm not sure if is there anything deeper in this? Because, like, the one character is abusive and it's implied that everybody knew he was abusive and allowing it to happen. And all through the movie, like, the deadites kind of whisper things to his, like, widowed wife. They whisper things all throughout, like, why did you put up with him being abusive?
You liked it. You liked that he was abusive. That's why you stayed.
So there's, like, this constant theme of that abuse running through, but I don't think it goes any deeper than that. I think they're just like, oh, hey, by the way, she was abused. I don't think it has any deeper meaning to it. You know what I mean? It's not exploring any themes. It's not like in, you know, like Bring Her Back. Remember that movie, Bring Her Back? Like, that movie is clearly about loss and grief and the extremes that you'll go to deal with loss and grief. And this movie, you're like, oh, I think it's mostly that all of these pieces of shit deserve to die. I think that's the big takeaway from this one. They didn't explore any deeper meaning with that abuse. It never really comes up again. I'll tell you the thing, and I mentioned this when we were driving home. I don't know where the spoilers are. Surely you must know that one character is the inciting death and becomes like the... So the reason it's called Evil Dead Burn is because the one character dies by burning in his car. Mm-hmm. Then they have his funeral and they're going to cremate him. Mm-hmm. At the crematorium, his dad goes in to, like, grieve. And, like, you see
Like
the son...
at the crematorium.
Yeah.
In front of the burning.
Yeah, he stops the guy wheeling the cart in. This is probably too spoilery, but to keep it light, you see that the possession has taken the son. The father sees that, and you're like, well, maybe it's just they're going to write this off as like only the father's going to see it. But then the guy that runs the crematorium comes walking in, and he sees it occurring as well, like evidence of a haunting. And then and it's never brought up again. Nobody calls the police. The father doesn't tell any of the other characters in the movie. He doesn't explain.
No, he got possessed.
Yeah, but, like, what about the crematorium guy?
I don't know what happened there. We don't know what.
Imagine if you walked in on a ghost communicating with a stranger and you were like, oh my God, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Whoop, back to work, never telling anybody about this. Anyway, that wasn't even the biggest deal with this movie. I think it was mainly just how much I hated everyone and couldn't wait for him to die.
And there was just so many problems with the movie. Like, their house the house they went to was apparently within walking distance of the crematorium with nothing in between.
Yeah, I forgot about that, actually.
And then they get to the house, and it's like the most run-down piece of crap house you've ever seen that probably shouldn't have people in it because it looks like there's black mold all over the ceiling.
Yeah.
But they all go in, And apparently, this was Grandpa's house,
Yeah.
and they left it to the younger son. And then, so the parents are mad because he let it go to crap.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, the house is set up for them. There's a chair lift for Grandma in the wheelchair. There's a whole like medical bed set up for Grandma in her bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
The younger son had been in the attic doing research on Grandpa's.
Which may have been
Research.
when the opening of the movie took place.
Yeah.
Like it could have been chronological, you know what I mean? Like we
it
both
could've.
assumed that was some sort of flash forward that would be explained later in the movie, but I think it was chronological, the opening of the movie.
And then it was weird, like I had mentioned, at the funeral, the mom was like, oh, our son loved French cuisine, so he went to France and brought back a French wife. But then when they get to the house, the younger son's girlfriend is like, oh, I didn't know you had been here before. And
The French girl's like,
the French
we got
girl
married
goes, we
here.
got married here.
You were there, you idiot.
Like, what? So, how long have you guys been married? Because you weren't that old. How long has this house looked like this?
Yeah.
Somehow his girlfriend doesn't know you were married here. His mom just said you got married in France.
Yeah. There's no concept of passage of time in this movie, I think is the problem. Because I'm old, we're old, so everybody looks young when you're as old as we are. But they look pretty young. Like, I'd say they're like probably mid-20s, those characters. Like 26, 28, somewhere between 24 and 28 would be my guess. And you can get married at any age you want to. There's a bunch of states in America where you can get married kind of dangerously young. So you can get married at any age, but like even if they had been married like 7 years ago when they were 21 and they'd been building their relationship for these 7 years, even 7 years isn't that long for that house to have gone to shit. Next to our studio at Dunker's house, we have a falling apart house that's been abandoned for probably close to 6 years. And it's fine. It doesn't look like it's been haunted for the past 30 years.
Yeah. It didn't even. Sometimes I was like, I don't know if they have electricity in here.
Yeah.
They were constantly using candles.
Yeah. Yeah, we get to see everybody being a huge jerk during all the setup scenes for the house, too.
Well, the mom comes in and she's cooking up lunch. She's like, tell everybody lunch is going to be ready in an hour. You see her chopping up the meat, chopping up the vegetables. They sit down to eat. She's like, oh, it's just frozen food.
I don't even remember that part. Yeah, that didn't stand out to me, but I am legitimately.
But then
glad
later you do see her throwing shish kebabs away.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, where was that food? Why did you serve frozen food?
You're so you're cracking me up with the things you're worried about with this movie.
These were the things
We
I
both got our gripes, you know what I mean? We mentioned this just before the movie started that I don't think you know any of there's no well-known actors in this movie really at all. But the lead male really looks like Anton Yelchin, like a lot. Every time I saw him on screen, I couldn't remember who it was. I couldn't put my finger on it until you just mentioned it. But every time we looked at the screen, I was like, man, does this guy look familiar to me? He looks really familiar.
Yeah.
Look, he looks a lot like Anton Yelchin, R.I.P., by the way. Yeah, you don't know any of the actors. There wasn't really any bad acting. I don't say there was any bad acting at all. For the most part, the directing was even fine. Like no, I take that back. Hold on, I gotta take that back. A lot of the fight scenes were filmed like right in tight on like everything that was happening, and you couldn't make it out. And the edits were like super snappy. Like every 2 seconds there was an edit to like a different shot. They must have got like 1 million cameras in there for coverage. And it's constantly cutting between all these things from an inch away from the action. And it just didn't feel good. I didn't like the action in a lot of the scenes. There's a couple of shots that hold really well, like the dishwasher door scene. Like that one's shot really well. Like you can see everything that's happening on it. And it doesn't cut back and forth too harshly. But a lot of the fight scenes, like there's the scene where she's like fighting in the bathtub with, I can't remember. Two of the characters are fighting in the bathroom, and they're kind of climbing along the walls, and it cuts between like right in close on their faces and 77 feet away, jumping between a bunch of different camera angles. I didn't like it. I think the way these work these days is like Sam Raimi like finds a director that he likes. I guess I'm assuming everybody knows who Sam Raimi is in our in our audience, but Sam Raimi created the Evil Dead series, directed the first 3 of them, did the Spider-Man, the Toby Maguire Spider-Man movies. I think when he left, what he did was he liked something that Fede Alvarez had made and let Fede Alvarez make the 2013 one, and then oh boy, I just forgot the name of the guy who directed Evil Dead Rise, Lee Cronin. I think he saw something that Lee Cronin had done and was like, do you want to make this? And then the guy that made this one, Sebastian Vanacek, had made this French movie called Infested in US. I don't know how you say it, Vermines in French. It's like a building all the tenants of this building get trapped with a bunch of like poisonous spiders. I actually watched it when it came out probably 3 years ago, and I don't really remember it that well, but it was fine. It was about the same quality as this one. It was pretty boring. And I think Sam Raimi like saw something there and was like, come direct my Evil Dead movie. I don't know. What did you think of it overall? What was your thoughts on it?
Overall, I probably wouldn't bother watching it again,
No.
much like the last Evil Dead movie.
No.
It was fine. Like, they focused too much on trying to make it a gory, gross fest.
Yeah.
And it just was at the loss of plot and
Character development.
yeah, character development was a huge one. I just feel like you jumped in and you just kept finding out things sort of in passing about everybody. So it's like, but the problem is the movie's already started and they're already in this situation and I already don't care about them. And the backstory you're giving them either isn't complete enough or makes them look like more of a dick.
Tough to do for some of these characters.
Because, like, another thing that was crazy was, learning about Grandpa, who's dead already. Yeah. And the mom's like, oh, your grandpa was a terrible dad, and he abandoned us, and I had to take care of everyone. And it was because he was researching the Necronomicon and how to protect them or whatever.
That whole thing felt so shoehorned in.
Yeah, and you're like, what is... Then the mom had a sister who was sick and died. Just sort of mentioned in passing. Why even have a sister? Like, there's nothing... You're never really learning about these characters.
Yeah. I guess the way they were hoping to do it was like, we'll seed their backstory throughout. But you're right, man. Like, you hate them as soon as they appear on screen, and then they start dying, and then you learn their backstory, and you're like, should this redeem him? Or, wow, he still sucked. I hate him. Glad he's dead.
And the stuff that we see in his research, we were also like, that's lame. Like, oh, it's the circle of wise men or whatever that are fighting the deadites. You're like, the circle of wise men?
Yeah, it's like a call. I hope that's not from Ash versus Evil Dead. It probably is.
Maybe, I don't know. But like everything you learned, the little bits that you learned from what Grandpa researched, you're like, this is dumb. And you're not explaining anything to try to make it even fit. So
it's not like
I don't care.
It's not like the Grail diary where you're like, I want to get my hands on this diary and see what else is in there. It's a good book. I'm gonna watch it again when it's available on streaming. I want to see, again, much like Masters of the Universe, I want to see if like brightened up a little bit with maybe a better sound mix. It's more enjoyable. I think just like Evil Dead Rise, I'll probably watch this 3 or 4 times and then be like, no, it just can't make it happen. I don't know.
It just makes me want to watch the
Yeah.
2013 one and
Yep.
actually see a good Evil Dead movie.
Yep. Yeah, I feel the same way. I wouldn't see it in theaters.
No.
It was fine. It was fine. It was whatever. Anything else you want to say about this entire movie? Are we out of here, baby?
We might be out of here because there's not much more to say about this.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Okay, bye.
Bye.